Hoffman, North Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Brewed Awakening Coffee, with 3 locations to serve you. Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, Highway 62 412 at Balmer Boulevard, and the Walmart East Plaza. And now, down on the corner.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas, Southern Missouri. It is Friday, August 2, 2019, and it is 7 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Welcome down on the corner program. Dale Hoffman, along with Gil Reynolds today.
Hey.
Scooter's got the day off.
Yeah, he's got.
We could have some fun.
I know, right? He's doing. He's a coach for the Mountain Home Flyers, so he's got some continuing education he's got to go through
that's
today,
what he says. Yeah, that's what he told the boss.
Yeah.
What's really going on?
I don't know. Ooh. You know, it better be good because he got me out of bed early. I usually get out of bed early, but he's usually changing a diaper.
Oh, he can come up with some excuses. Katie, I tell you what. Oh, well. Hope Scott has a good day off. Welcome down on the corner program, everybody. Dale Hoffman, your host. It's brought to you by Brewed Awakening Coffee, the best coffee in town. And you know, Gil, they can't sell Brewed Awakening coffee in the state of Illinois because it gives you so much energy, they'd have to tax that up there, too. So.
Now, they probably outlawed it.
They probably
Too much energy.
Too much energy. We can't get enough tax money off the energy it gives you. Brewed Awakening Coffee, the best coffee in town. 3 locations to serve you. Of course, we've got Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby. We got 62 East Plaza out by Anytime Fitness, and of course, Balmer Boulevard. Coming up within the next month, Balmer Boulevard start to be getting busy again at that location with school starting up here around the 14th, 15th of August. But Brewed Awakening Coffee, Mike and his staff do a great job serving you the best coffee in town. If you're not drinking Brewed Awakening, you're just drinking muddy water. And check out any of the 3 locations. Walk in the lobby at Baxter Regional Medical Center, drive through the 2 locations, and enjoy the best coffee in town. Brewed Awakening. Once again, Mike and his staff do a really, really great job. They've got mochas and lattes, espresso, pumpkin spice if you want, French vanilla, you name it, they can mix it in your coffee for you. Brewed Awakening Coffee, best coffee in town. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas, bring you the morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes, right here in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Talk to Bruce, Charlotte, Chris, Brad. Anybody there can help you. Very professional, caring, loving, and understanding. They've been through this many times. They understand what's going on, and they know exactly how to help, what to do, and what to say. So when the need arises, Roller Funeral Homes. 29 Roller Funeral Homes in the state of Arkansas to serve you with 1 in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's pause now for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, this morning I pray for the family of our young student taken from us yesterday in a tragic accident, and our community has lost another friend. Lord, words can be so shallow and cheap. I wish I had words that could really help, but I really don't. I want the family to know that we do care. I pray that you give them comfort and peace during this tragic time. Then also, Lord, I pray today for Carthage, Arkansas, that you give wisdom to the leaders there, those trying to get fresh water back to that small town as their well, seriously, the well went dry. I know it sounds crazy, but these people are really in need. Overall, Lord, just bless our state and help us through these rough times. That's my prayer today. Amen. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas, bring the morning prayer each and every day. With all our respect, Roller Funeral Homes. And it's time now to look at the live shot from... Hey, we got a little bit of fog over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty.
Brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zadora for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793. RetireToArkansas.net. If you log into that website, you can bring up the live cam. You can see the beautiful White River coming through Cotter, Arkansas. The little clearing right there, almost in the center of the screen, is the little Cotter Park. Now that's the little railroad museum and the baseball field and the stream down there from Big Spring Park. But the beautiful shot this morning, the live cam brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zadora for all your real estate needs. Buying, selling, need some property, Arkansas or Missouri, give them a call. And once again, I'm going to talk to my friends up in St. Louis County, Missouri, and of course, St. Clair County, Illinois. Y'all get ready to retire? Come on down. Check RetireToArkansas.net. Bob and Linda can help you find the perfect spot.
I think I've got somebody on live feed over here. It seems like let's see if we can do this. See if we can pull him. Hold on a minute. Let's see. If
I don't have headphones, so I can't hear him.
I can hear him.
Uh-oh.
How is it funny?
How are you this morning? He said.
I'm fine.
figured you
I'm
guys
fine.
were gonna mess
I
with
heard you. Gil says you've got some lousy excuse for taking off today. We're not buying
They
this
got
medical
this.
stuff.
Hey, you gotta take your classes.
He says you got to. He says you got to
figured
take
you
your
guys were gonna-
classes.
I figured you guys were going to mess this up this morning, so I better call in.
Were you able to see the live shot? Had a little fog over the river.
Weather. Oh, not yet. Huh? Am I too early?
Can you put the live cam on there and you can see the river? Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Hang on, Gil's gonna put the live cam on for you. Live cam, there it is. What do you think of that, Scooter? You see that?
The weather.
Oh.
Well,
So-
you guys. I just want to wish everybody a happy morning. You guys enjoyed the show. I was just calling, tuning in a hard time.
Yeah, you know, I was just sitting. Here, I got to turn this on. I was just sitting here and I was just doing the show and I saw this little ignorant little speck down here waving around. And I didn't know. He must have called. He has got it saved.
He's got the code.
He got it saved, so
Oh,
he actually
Okay,
called.
are you really? Are you going fishing
everybody
or
good morning.
boating? Come on. We're not buying this. Come on.
Oh, this was cool.
Yeah. Take a day off and call in.
All right. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful show. I'm going to go sit in class all day.
Oh, fun. Have a good one, Scooter.
All right, Scott, we'll see you.
Only on local hometown TV can you have so much fun with stuff like that. That's a lot of fun. That's a good little attribute we got there on the program. Back to the morning weather, brought to you by the Z-Team, Bob and Linda Zadoro, for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793. When you list your home with the Z-Team, Linda is a professional stager, and she can set the home up for that certain eye appeal and give you some pointers on how to make that like, ooh, I like that, you know. Excuse me. The Z-Team, the award-winning Z-Team, Bob and Linda Zadora, once again, 870-405-0793, retiretoarkansas.net. Weather-wise today, we're starting the day in Mountain Home at 69 degrees. It's 70 in Flippin, 69 in Harrison, 70 at Yellville, 66 in Salem, Arkansas, 69 at Calico Rock along the river, a little farther downstream than what you've just seen on the screen. 68 at Mountain View, Arkansas. Around the region, St. Louis is a kind of a cool 62. 63 at Poplar Bluff, Missouri. West Plains, 66. 68 at Branson. And Watford City, North Dakota, within 6 degrees of us at 63 degrees. That's pretty cool. They've got a heat wave in Watford City. That's 63 degrees at 7 a.m. On the radar, the national radar, we've got some showers in the Midwest part of the country, in the southeast part of North Dakota, the northeast part of South Dakota, and western Minnesota. Get your geography books out and figure that one out. Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and maybe possibly some in Missouri. And some of that could be some pretty heavy showers coming down through Kansas. We're starting to need a little bit of rain here in north central Arkansas. Man, we've had all the floods. Well, not in North Arkansas, we haven't flooded. So anyway, shower activities around the Gulf Coast, the Atlantic Coast, affecting I-95. Not going to affect us here. And so, we ready to take that Little Rock stop there, Gil? The Little Rock radar. Let's see what shows up there. They've got the intensity cranked up. A lot of humidity in the air right now. Very little of this is hitting the ground, if any. This is clear to partly cloudy skies with a lot of humidity. I'm going to say overall your highways are clear. 62, 412 east and west, 65 north-south, Little Rock, Branson. Then you've got Highway 67, 167, Batesville, Poplar Bluff. Looks like it's in good shape. Your interstates 30, 40, 49, 55, 555 in Arkansas. Clear at this time. We'll back out and we'll take a look at St. Louis area. That'll check the two-state area there. I-44 coming in from Rolla. They've got a little bit of light rain right there. I doubt that's hitting the ground. I-70 east into St. Louis, and then Vandalia, Effingham, Illinois, east of St. Louis. East St. Louis, Illinois, I-64 east to Mount Vernon in good shape. You've got I-24 at 57 south east of Carbondale with no shower activity there. I-55 Sykeston, Cape Girardeau into St. Louis, no problems. Then, of course, I-70 Columbia to St. Louis looking good as well. Now, southwest Missouri, we may pick some of that stuff up we're seeing in Kansas. Yeah, that's around Coffeyville, Kansas, Chanute, on up to Lawrence, Kansas. Not much. Well, a little bit in extreme, very extreme, northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri. Light rain there affecting I-44. Tulsa to Joplin with showers there, then on up to Lebanon and I-44. Extremely light precip right now. Kansas City, I-70 east to Columbia, no problems yet. If that rain moves east, they got a problem there. If not, who knows? Anyway, forecast map for today, you can see the flood watch and warnings. You've got a flood watch, a flood warning, and a flash flood warning. They've got through, I mean, you've got a flash flood watch, a flash flood warning, flash flood watch, and a flash flood warning. So they got 3 different things all in the same location. It's raining and you could get some water. Anyway, up in Montana, Idaho, and Washington, they have a red flag warning, kind of dry up in the big sky country up there. 7-day forecast for today, 20% chance of thunder showers, high of 86 today, low tonight 68 with a 20%, then Saturday 30% chance of showers, high of 86. You know, this is the first week of August, and normally it can just be unbearably hot, but these are some very pleasant temperatures right here. Saturday night, a cool 67 degrees, 20% chance of showers, and it continues on Sunday, 20% chance. Then Sunday night, mostly clear, low of 66, high of 91 on Monday, 91 on Tuesday. It looks like summertime returns next week. And so 'tis August in Arkansas, and so we've had a really decent summer. I mean, I don't think we've got more than 96 degrees, maybe 97 at the most so far this whole summer. So it's been very pleasant. You know, got some humidity out there, but other than that, no problem. Checking iDrive Arkansas across the state, we just have the normal things of some culvert repairs after the higher waters along the river areas here. New one just southeast of Jasper. That's on a side road. Searcy County closer. That's where they had the landslide on 377 after some rain over there. Before you travel, check iDrive Arkansas. You can also check your border states: Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. And speaking of Missouri, we'll take a look there. I-29 is doing pretty good there, and I-44, of course, we spoke about in the other weather section. They're doing some construction work on Highway 142. That's a good shortcut from Bakersfield over to Thayer and then on over to Doniphan, Missouri. Doing some repaving there. 160 in good shape, Highway 60 in Missouri. And so before you travel, check iDrive Arkansas or MoDOT Traveler Information. Allergy sufferers today a 2.8 low to medium. And for tomorrow, we're predicting a 5.5 with grasses and plankton being your culprits right now. And so, morning weather is brought to you by the Zeke. Let's take another look at that. I never get tired of looking at the river.
No.
So pretty. And so, the beautiful White River at Cotter, Arkansas. The camera's actually in Marion County. You're looking into Baxter County, Arkansas, in Cotter, Arkansas. Brought to you by the Z Team for all your real estate needs. Bob and Linda Zadora, 870-405-0793. RetireToArkansas.net. Community calendar is brought to you by Old Time Restaurant on the Square in Mountain Home. Best breakfast, best lunch in town, Monday through Friday, 7 to 2, Saturday till 11. About 8:30 on Monday, I will be out front protesting the fact that they're closed all next week. You can't do that. We wish them a good week off. You know, the staff needs a good vacation.
They need a vacation.
They need a
They work
vacation.
too
Do a
hard.
great job. Check out Old Time Restaurant today and tomorrow. We'll be down for breakfast one of the 2 days, and so we're going to have a good time down there. Just a good, fun spot to hang out, have some coffee, a soft drink, you know, just enjoy time with some friends, and even a little business meeting can be taken care of in the back part of the building. And so, Old Time Restaurant on the Square Mountain Home. Once again, Monday through Friday, 7 to 2, Saturday till 11. Closed next week for some updates and some vacation time. And they bring you the community calendar. And what do we have here? We have Kick It to Cancer on August 3rd, which is tomorrow, McLean Park in Mountain Home from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Family-friendly, family-friendly co-ed kickball tournament, concession stand, raffle ticket drawings, and silent auction to benefit Brandon Carnell. All proceeds help pay medical bills and expenses due to Brandon having colon cancer for the second time. And then the back-to-school supplies giveaway. This is August 3rd from 9 to noon at Yellville Church of Christ and Main Street Church of Christ in Yellville. And they'll host their annual back-to-school supplies giveaway Saturday, August 3rd. The event will begin at 9 and continue till all school supplies had been donated. The Yellville Church of Christ will have school supplies including backpacks and clothing, while the Main Street Church of Christ will have shoes ranging sizing from toddler to adult, school-age children for boys and girls. Ozark Football Association, August 3rd, 11 to 2. Last sign-up at the LC Salmons Youth Center. Community calendar brought to you by Old Time Restaurant on the Square in Mountain Home. Best lunch, best breakfast in town, Monday through Friday, 7 to 2, Saturday till 11.
Scott just texted me. He said that their special day is steak day. So it's steak day at
It's steak
the
day
restaurant.
today. Yep. It's going to be good. Going to be good. Real quick, Pink for Pints, 9th Annual Benefit Rodeo at the Mountain Home Saddle Club Arena, August 9th and 10th. They'll have the Cancer Survivor Ceremony, Tug of War Contest, Carousel Pony Rides, Mechanical Bull Rides. A lot of activities going on August 9th and 10th. Concession stand opens at 5:30, 6:15 on Saturday only, the Tug of War Contest. 6 to 8, pony ride sponsored by Bar None Cowboy Church. 7:30, mutton busting. And then 8 o'clock, the rodeo. A lot of fun. Pink for Pints rodeo coming up on August 9th and 10th. I guess it's time for a break.
Time for a break.
All right, we'll be right back.
Breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with a pie lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
Our old burger was only 7 ounces, but now it's 8 with brioche bun and pickles. Comes with its own steak knife, it's really that big. Your best competition is always yourself. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. We're focused on one thing, burgers, ribs, fajitas. Just that one thing, burgers, ribs, and fajitas. We're reeling in our menu because it got out of hand. We had a moment of self-actualization. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
Do you know where your money goes when you give to charity? At the Salvation Army, 85 cents of every dollar stays to help those in need in our local community. Hi, I'm Captain Spaulding. The money we raise help people in the surrounding 5 counties, including Baxter, Marion, Sharp, Izzard, and Fulton. You can help by donating your unwanted items and by shopping at the Salvation Army store. Those in need get assistance with rent, utilities, sending kids to camp, and many other things. When it comes to this charity, the Salvation Army always helps those in our community.
Whether you're a professional lawnscape contractor or a homeowner in need of quality lawn equipment, Moran's Lawn and Garden has you covered. Moran's is the longest originally owned lawn and garden business in Mountain Home, with a 5,700 square foot warehouse packed full of new current year inventory for all your lawn maintenance needs. Moran stocks a full line of factory parts, and they service everything they sell, offering top names like Grasshopper, Hustler, and Country Clipper. Moran stands behind their quality service with thousands of customers using their products daily. Moran's Lawn and Garden, servicing the entire Twin Lakes area.
When I grow up, I want to save lives, like a superhero, and show up when people needed me.
When I grow up, I want to do animations. I want to create characters that can fly.
No matter what it is you want out of life, there is a path to get there.
When I grow up, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know I want to go to college.
Arkansas State University Mountain Home. Take your first step at asumh.edu.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Why would I recommend Hospice of the Ozarks? Because I know the people that work there, I know their hearts, and I know that their desire is to help people with the suffering and the anxiety and the things that can come with either terminal diagnosis or a terminal condition. We want them to have a peace of heart and to have a comfort and to know that someone's there to help them through that so they can enjoy the time that they have.
Welcome back to Down on the Corner program, the last Wednesday of the month, the last Wednesday of the year, and it's always Arkansas Game and Fish. Dennis Dunderdale here, and welcome. Can you believe the end of the year is upon us?
We are there, aren't we, huh?
Wow.
Yikes.
Boy,
December.
2018 just kind of came through and gone, didn't it?
Wow. And Christmas is in the can.
Wow.
Wow. Doesn't sound practical.
It doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't. The credit card bills aren't, though.
So what you got for us today, Dennis?
Well, I was thinking of what's appropriate to do, and it occurred to me, I was watching a video that I oftentimes play, because I do a lot of luncheon shows for Rotary and, that sort of thing. And one of my favorite presentations is a video that Game and Fish produced during our centennial year, which was 2015. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission was born on March 15th, 1915. And so as a commemorative to that, we, had birthday parties and all that sort of thing. But we produced what I think is probably one of the best conservation agency videos ever produced. And it's about a 15 or 18 minute, somewhere in there, video that kind of chronicles not only the history of the Game and Fish Commission, but a lot of anecdotal information of the things that we've done over the years. And it what's the word I'm looking for? It's narrated by some of the key players that contributed greatly to Game and Fish. Some of our former commissioners, some of the more prominent employees, me not being one of them, but it's a really good video. And every time I show this, and every time I see it, usually the response is, man, that just makes me want to get up and run out and enjoy the natural beauty of Arkansas. So I thought today we could kind of talk about that and just kind of reflect on what an absolutely beautiful state we have and how abundant it is with natural resources and wildlife and fish and just so many things. And we'll break a little bit through it when there's an appropriate time and maybe talk about some of that anecdotal information. So the name of it is A Century of Conservation, because it does commemorate our 100 years. And why don't we just roll right into that? What do you think?
There is a delight in the hardy life of the open. There are no words that can tell the hidden spirit of the wilderness, that can reveal its mystery, its melancholy, and its charm. The nation behaves well if it treats the natural resources as assets, which it must turn over to the next generation increased, and not impaired in value. Conservation means development, as much as it does protection. Theodore Roosevelt. In the early 1900s, President Roosevelt held a White House conference on conservation. As concerns about natural resources and wildlife grew, Americans were spreading west, replacing vast forests with cities, cropland, and pastures. Arkansas was changing, especially the wildlife. Elk, bison, and swan were completely gone from the state. Ducks, quail, and fish were harder to come by. Something had to be done. In 1915, Act 124 was signed into law, and the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission was born.
In 1916, Arkansas's first game wardens were hired for $80 a month, and they had to provide their own horses. Times have changed, and so have our tools, but the call to protect our state's wildlife and natural resources never will. I take a lot of pride in knowing we're all carrying on the legacy of those original 9 wardens.
In 1918, the Migratory Bird Treaty Act was passed. Unregulated hunting had caused populations of many bird species to decline sharply, and market hunting posed a similar threat to North America's waterfowl. The act set federal regulations on the hunting of migratory birds. And nearly 100 years later, that means plenty of ducks for us today.
During the 1920s, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission took steps to increase the deer population in our state. As late as the 40s, the deer population remained bleak in Arkansas. Hunting was closed in several counties. But progress was being made, and with the help of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, record harvests have become the norm with each deer season. One of the state's oldest and most successful fish hatcheries was dug by hand and by mule right here in 1928. As director of the Game and Fish Commission's Fisheries Division for many years, some of Joe Hogan's innovative principles for raising fish in ponds and transporting them across the state are still practiced today.
In 1937, the Pittman-Robertson Act provided federal assistance for projects to restore, enhance, and manage wildlife resources. Arkansas has used millions of dollars over the years for habitat projects just like this one.
In 1945, Amendment 35 became effective, making the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission an independent state agency. This gave the commission much needed stability and ushered in the way we still do business today.
This place is legendary among duck hunters. Thanks to the foresight of game and fish managers and commissioners nearly 70 years ago, this place is now known as one of the best places in the world to hunt mallards and flooded green timber. Valmeda is one of the greatest places for the public to come hunt, and we're very fortunate to have it.
Thanks to the Dingell-Johnson Act signed in 1950, when you make purchases like this, you're actually giving back to fishing in our state.
In 1951, this beautiful place was completed. It's been stealing the hearts of fishermen for generations.
At the request of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, NBC came to film a live duck hunt in 1956. And more than 250,000 ducks filled the air in front of the cameras on that day, and outdoorsmen have been flocking to our state ever since. 7 years later, I produced the first of many long-running fishing shows shot here in Arkansas.
How about that?
Man, a pretty solid guy. Appreciate your help.
Yes, thank you.
Now, technology has really changed, but the thrill of filming the great outdoors never will.
We were known as the bear state long before we were known as the natural state, but black bears were almost hunted completely out of the state of Arkansas. Today we have over 5,000 bears in the state, thanks to the reintroduction effort in the 1950s and 60s. This reintroduction effort is recognized as the most successful reintroduction of a large carnivore in history. And we're very proud of that.
In 1971, hunter education classes began in the state of Arkansas. First and foremost, the Arkansas Game and Fish wants to make sure every hunt ends safely. It is something that has given me peace of mind and helped me to enjoy our hunting even more.
Can you imagine this beautiful spot being underwater? That's what would have happened had dams been put in place in the late 1960s. In part, thanks to the Arkansas Game and Fish, this became America's first national river, the Buffalo National River. Hundreds of thousands of people come to the Buffalo National River every year.
Elk once roamed Arkansas far and wide before the settlers transformed the landscape. Against the odds, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission brought the elk back beginning in 1981. By 1998, the herd had grown large enough for a limited hunt. I got this one in 2004.
We're known for our miles of trails, wild game, and breathtaking views. When the 1/8 cent conservation sales tax passed in 1996, it gave the Game and Fish Commission much needed funds to keep creating the habitats and improving the quality of wildlife our state reveres so much. It's nice to know that everyone in the state has a hand in helping nature.
I started my boat company right here in Arkansas. And in 2001, Game and Fish made boating safer for everyone by instituting boating education courses.
In 2001, the first of 4 Arkansas Game and Fish Nature Centers opened in Pine Bluff. Part classroom, part museum, part playground. These nature centers offer visitors walking trails, exhibits, and hands-on fun.
My love of fishing started long before we founded the Ranger Boat Company. In 2012, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission resolved the minimum flow issue with the assistance of a lot of people. Now, trout have the habitat and conditions below Bull Shoals Dam to grow and thrive, and will benefit generations to come.
More than 100 years later, it is our mission to continue to carry out the legacy President Roosevelt once spoke about. Cherish these natural wonders. Cherish the natural resources. Cherish the history and romance as a sacred heritage for your children and your children's children.
This is our Arkansas.
My Arkansas.
My state.
This is my outdoors.
My weekend.
My life.
This is my everything.
This is my calling.
This is my legacy.
Thank you, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
You make the deer woods great.
You make the fishing great.
You make my state great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Thank you for protecting our most valuable resource for 100 years.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Do you know where your money goes when you give to charity? At the Salvation Army, 85 cents of every dollar stays to help those in need in our local community. Hi, I'm Captain Spaulding. The money we raise help people in the surrounding 5 counties, including Baxter, Marion, Sharp, Izzard, and Fulton. You can help by donating your unwanted items and by shopping at the Salvation Army store. Those in need get assistance with rent, utilities, sending kids to camp, and many other things. When it comes to this charity, the Salvation Army always helps those in our community.
Whether you're a professional lawnscape contractor or a homeowner in need of quality lawn equipment, Moran's Lawn & Garden has you covered. Moran's is the longest originally owned lawn and garden business in Mountain Home, with a 5,700 square foot warehouse packed full of new current year inventory for all your lawn maintenance needs. Moran stocks a full line of factory parts, and they service everything they sell, offering top names like Grasshopper, Hustler, and Country Clipper. Moran stands behind their quality service with thousands of customers using their products daily. Moran's Lawn & Garden, servicing the entire Twin Lakes area.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car truck to your needs in a price range you can afford. We also have a lot full of pre-owned cars and trucks, program and new car trade-ins to choose from. So come see us at Mountain View Chevrolet.
Life is too short to wear boring clothes. Welcome to Shabby to Chic Salon and Boutique, where we carry the latest trends and fashions and accessories at prices anyone can enjoy. Feel beautiful while looking fabulous with a large range of fashions that fits anyone's sense of style. You're sure to discover something unique and new at every visit. Shabby to Chic also features 12 professional stylists, aesthetics by Amy J, a nail technician, and 4 tanning beds. Excite your style at Shabby to Chic Salon and Boutique in Mountain Home.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
When you need durable...
That was a powerful video, Dennis. That was good.
Something?
That was good. Let's talk about the demise of wildlife during that settlement period real quick.
Well, that's kind of where the whole thing began. And in the very beginning of that video, they sort of mentioned that during the Teddy Roosevelt era, and he along with others, really get credited for turning that whole situation around. But what was going on, when you consider Arkansas was just a wilderness territory. You know, like Ted was here, earlier last month, talking about how there was a lot of prairie in the area. And that's true up in where we are now. But, the legend is that Arkansas squirrels could get in a tree at the Mississippi River and go all the way to the Rocky Mountain, on the other side of the Rocky Mountains before, to the desert, basically, before they had to touch the ground again. Wow. Now, I mean, that's kind of exaggerated and it makes the point, but the reality is this was a vast wilderness, and it was discovered initially by trappers from Europe, Germany, Spain, France, and once they discovered the abundance of wildlife, word got back to Europe, and more people started coming, and thus the establishment of Arkansas. The first establishment actually was down in the Arkansas Post, down by where the Mississippi, the Arkansas, and the White River all come together, and that was a trapping post. Once that word got out and explorers started coming up the rivers and establishing cities, they came to a big rock on the Arkansas River, and they found it was too big to really do much with, so they went a little further up and they found a little rock, and they set up an establishment there and named it Little Rock. And so all of this got going. Word got out and things started to spread. Cities, I don't want to say cities, but townships and settlements started to establish. When those started, farmers were starting to clear land to create their pastures and their farms. A lot of the North Arkansas stuff, of course, was rocky soil. South and East Arkansas, of course, is fertile delta land. And a lot of that was getting cleared out. And as a result, a lot of wildlife was being demised through that period. Wow. There was, we'll talk about this more in a little bit, but there was a period where there were 50,000 bears in the state of Arkansas at one point, in around the middle 1800s. 1900s, middle of 1900s, they did a survey and they found 50 bears, 25 to 50 bears. So it was almost completely depleted. Same went on with wild turkeys. Same went on with white-tailed deer and pretty much everything else. We were overhunting it. People couldn't go to Shaw's, and not Shaw's, but Harps and Walmart to buy their meat. If you weren't a hunter, you'd go to the town square and you'd buy your meat from a meat market, who was run and operated by the family of a hunter. People just kill everything they could, bring it to the market and sell it, and it sold. Yeah. So that really depleted our wildlife. And in and around the turn of the century, the Teddy Roosevelt era, if you will, and Teddy Roosevelt did a lot for this, we realized, or the state realized, that something had to be done. So they established a commission, which was basically 8 game wardens, I think is what it was, or a handful of game wardens, I forget the number. He said it in the video. And they were paid a pittance. And their job basically was to make sure people stopped hunting. They shut hunting down. I mean, they just stopped it. But they were essentially deer wardens. And that's kind of where the whole thing began back in 1915. And then from there it kind of grew a little bit, and some wildlife management strategies started to develop between Aldo Leopold and Teddy Roosevelt and his hunting club, which was the Boone and Crockett Club. They started developing some techniques for maybe rebuilding these populations. In fact, one of those was set right here in Arkansas, right over in the Sycamore National Forest. They built what was the first high fence area,
and they put, I forget how many acres it is. It's a good sizable area. Some of the fence is still there. You can still see where that area was. Yep. And they what they did was they pen raised white-tailed deer in that enclosed area and then released them out into the state elsewhere. And essentially that's kind of how they did that. So fascinating history. These guys really, really worked their butts off. You know, talking about the black bear, that's probably one of the stories that we're the proudest of. The black bear, it's on the records as a carnivore. It really isn't a carnivore. Black bears eat berries and nuts and all that, which makes them an omnivore. But the black bear demised, as I said, down to 25 to 50 bears. And all of those were down in the southeast corner, down in that Arkansas Post area, the lower White River Basin, we call that. Rather than me get through the story, we do have another video. Why don't we pull that up? It's maybe 12, 13 minutes long or so. And it tells the whole story of the Arkansas black bear, what happened, what we did, and what we're doing today. So
here's Arkansas Game and Fish black bear video.
Yeah, and it features...
Few people have a lukewarm reaction to the sight of a black bear. The most typical response is probably fear, followed closely by a sense of wonder. For some, black bears are a symbol of wilderness. For Myron Means, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission's black bear biologist, bears elicit respect and admiration.
Their physiology, the lifestyle that they've evolved into, a feast and a fast lifestyle, you know, being able to go without food for 4 to 5 months at a time, have a gestation period, give birth, wean cubs. They're a truly remarkable animal.
The story of Arkansas's black bears almost ended tragically, but now it's literally a textbook example of wildlife management at its finest.
It was thought at the time of pre-settlement that Arkansas had maybe as many as 50,000 black bears in the state, and we were unofficially nicknamed the Bear State. Through the time of settlement, 1700s and 1800s, bears were market hunted for their fat, and they were almost hunted to extinction in the state. And by the late 1920s, the General Assembly of Arkansas actually made it illegal to bear hunt, to kill a bear in the state, but by that time it was almost too late.
As few as 3 or 4 dozen bears persisted in southeast Arkansas, in the bottomlands where the White and Arkansas rivers meet the Mississippi. But in 1958, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission embarked on a plan to bring back black bears.
They brought 254 bears in from Minnesota and Manitoba, Canada, and they released them at sites in the Ozarks and Ouachita mountain ranges.
Arkansas Game and Fish released bears over a 10-year period. Historical upland forest had been cut down, but their rebirth gave rise to rich wildlife habitat.
That population flourished under those conditions, and it was so successful that by 1980, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission was able to reopen bear season in the state.
Bears are back, a natural part of the landscape, as they were before our forefathers set foot here. Today, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission regulates bear hunting and keeps close tabs on the natural state's bears.
Population's thriving. We estimate that we have 4,000 to 5,000 bears in the state.
Black bears inhabit the Ozarks and Ouachitas, as well as the lower White River area.
Those 3 populations, we kind of treat them as distinct populations. There's not a lot of immigration and emigration back and forth into those populations from one another.
Bear season takes place in the fall in Arkansas and is controlled by various regulations and a quota system. The season has a set length, but also closes if hunters check a certain number of bears. Over the past 5 years, hunters have taken an average of 422 bears per season in the natural state. Considering there were less than a few dozen bears here just 90 years ago, it's one of wildlife management's most incredible success stories.
No other natural resource agency has ever reintroduced a large carnivore as successful as Arkansas Game and Fish Commission has. It's considered the most successful reintroduction of a large carnivore in history, not just Arkansas or the United States, but around the world.
To maintain that success, Myron Means and the Game and Fish Commission's bear team constantly monitor the state's bears. And while harvest numbers are instructive, they only tell part of the story.
Total length is 55. It's really critical for us in monitoring our bear population to kind of have an idea of how many bears are coming into the system, as well as how many bears are going out of the system that are harvested during the bear season. Well, the way we monitor how many bears are coming into the system is to have a good distribution of collared females across bear range. Of those collared females, we'll go in every year and do cub counts if they're in a cub cycle, or yearling counts if they have yearlings with them, because the cubs will stay with them for actually 2 den cycles. So by doing that, we're able to monitor reproduction effort and survival effort of those cubs up until the time they're a year old.
Radio collared female bears are tracked to their winter dens. Bears with cubs then get a visit from the Game and Fish Commission, giving us a deeper view into the black bear's world and the work that ensures a robust Arkansas bear population.
We're going to go quite a ways further down, but I just want to tell everybody from here on down we probably need to be as quiet as possible. She's just right down below the hill here, but we still have probably another 75 yards. This is a female, black, no chest blaze, and she is 5 1/4 pounds.
Keeping track of Arkansas's black bears requires an understanding of the number of bears leaving the population as a result of regulated hunting, but it also requires insight into how many bears are entering the population.
Arkansas's bear population is really good and really healthy, but it's not like we have 20,000 black bears in the state. We only have 4,000 to 5,000 bears in the state. So it's not like you see bears all the time. So unless you go in and put your hands on females with cubs, and unless you have good data from year to year to year, you really don't have any idea of what's going on with reproductive rates of our bear population.
Game and Fish biologists have attached radio tracking collars to dozens of female bears across the state. That representative sample allows wildlife managers to track birth rates and cub survival and make informed management decisions. But first, you have to get to the bear den. Reaching a bear den in the Ozark National Forest isn't the easiest task.
The experienced mothers like to have their cubs in very remote, hard to access areas. Typically they're going to den down in deep ravines and stuff like that, and a lot of times they're pretty hard to access.
With the bear den just 20 yards away, biologists Myron Means and Matt Melson quietly prepare the drugs they'll use to sedate a bear that, contrary to popular belief, is not actually hibernating.
A lot of people think bears are true hibernators, and they're not. They can go through periods of kind of a deeper sleep, but they can also arouse immediately. Even though it's really cold and all that stuff, when we do these den surveys, those females, when we go in, they can hear us coming, it wakes them up, and they're always aware of what we're doing. Some of them are more aware than others. Okay, here we go. She has at least 2 cubs. You can hear 2 different cubs feeding. We just started her.
and it'll generally take 10 to 15 minutes for the drug to take effect. Boy, I'm glad I got her in the neck. God, she's huge. She is big. She's got a freaking head that wide. She's always been a big bear. Man, that's a pretty good adrenaline rush. If you're an adrenaline junkie, that's a pretty good rush. Especially when she raises her head up and looks at you 3 feet away. See how her eyes are twitching, jumping. She wouldn't pass the field sobriety test right now.
15 to 20 minutes later, it's safe to begin the den survey. The first step is taking care of Mama Bear.
That drug dries out their eyes. They can still blink a little, but they don't have anything to lubricate their eyes.
Adhesive bandages keep dust and debris out of her eyes and also aid in calming the female while the rest of the den work progresses. The main focus of this research is the cubs, which give wildlife managers a window into the reproductive success of the state's bears.
Black, no chest blaze.
Biologists record identifying characteristics such as color and other markings. They weigh the cubs and take a series of measurements, including body length, chest circumference, and foot size. By plugging the measurements into a formula, wildlife managers can better estimate a cub's age and determine its developmental progress compared to known averages. Over time, the information gathered from these remote bear dens allows biologists to track trends in the bear population and adjust regulations as needed.
You know, if you impact the population too heavy on bears, instead of rebounding in a year or two like maybe a deer population would in an area or something like that, you're talking about a population that may take a decade to rebound.
Because bears have relatively low reproductive rates compared to other Arkansas mammals, annual den surveys provide vital information. Case in point, there was a significant decline in black bear reproduction for 2 years after an unusually late freeze in the spring of 2007.
You know, we had the Easter freeze in 2007, which decimated the soft mass and the hard mass crop for that year. All the fruits and berries in the summer that bears eat, all the acorns and nuts in the fall that bears eat, all that stuff was wiped out. That's why we monitor these bears every year. We were able to make adjustments to our harvest strategies statewide to offset such a high harvest rate and to allow our reproductive rate to come back up to where it needed to be, so we didn't have drops in the population overall. It's kind of the checks and balances.
On average, Arkansas's black bears give birth to 2 cubs every other year.
And the gestation period is only about 65 days for a bear, which is extremely short.
Cubs are born in January, weighing a ½ pound or less. They gain about a pound a week until they emerge from the den with their mother in April. The black bear's den cycle is another natural marvel.
Once she enters that den cycle in mid-November, she will not eat, she will not drink, she will not urinate, she will not defecate.
Bears can recycle intestinal nutrients during the denning process. They also can convert nitrogen from urea into amino acids that aid in muscle development.
And they can actually come out of a den cycle, lose 25% of their body weight, which is all fat, and still have more muscle mass, you know, 5 months, 4 months later when they come out of a den cycle with cubs.
Before this den survey ends, the adult female will get a thorough examination. This bear received new ear tags that identify her as part of the Game and Fish Commission's bear research.
I'll face it the opposite direction in case we can see her with binoculars. We'll have it coming pointing in both directions.
The bear cubs go back into the den with a mother bear who's showing signs of waking from her slumber.
Yeah, she's moving real well already.
Black bears are one of the natural state's most dynamic and fascinating animals. And thanks to the work of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, the story of Arkansas's black bears continues to inspire.